God bless you, family. I'm a changed man for life. Thank you for stopping in and checking out my channel. Thank you for stopping in and checking out this video. If you are not yet subscribed to the channel, please take this opportunity to do so. Smash that subscribe button, ring that bell so you get the notifications when new content drops. Help me spread this hope. How's everybody doing this Monday evening? I hope your week is off to a good start. I hope everybody had a blessed, restful weekend. I know I did. Got to go to church, got to go see my mom. Had a really good weekend, so I hope everybody else did as well. Let's get into this video. As you can see on the thumbnail, this is episode 3 of my series, God Had His Hand on Me. If you're new to the channel or new to this series, what I'm talking about is now as a man of God, now as a Christian, being able to look back during the years where I was not serving God while I was in prison. The first 20 years of my incarceration, I was not a Christian. So I'm looking back at specific moments throughout those 20 years where I could see that God had his hand on me. God had a plan for my life. And even though I didn't know it, God knew he had a plan for my life. He knew he had a purpose for me. And he had his hand on me in many situations where things could have gone all bad. So I'm just recounting those stories, talking about those things. You know, if you're new to the channel, one of the things I really don't do is prison war stories. I was a lifer. I was in prison for 24 years. I'm an ex-gang member. I'm an ex-drug addict. But I don't glorify gang activity. I don't glorify war stories, the things that go on in prison. It's not what my channel is about. Sorry to disappoint you that you came here for. You're not going to hear stuff like that. I will occasionally share stories that are my personal experiences of things I was part of or things that I saw, things that went on around me, if it relates to me being able to give a message that's based in my faith and rooted in my faith of Christianity. So that's what I do in this series. I just talk about times where I can look back now and be like, oh, dang, you know, that could have gone really bad, but God had his hand on me and brought me through it. So I'm going to share with you guys tonight, you guys and you ladies, a story about Salinas Valley State Prison. I was in Salinas Valley State Prison. I was on C Yard. I was on C Upper. I was in, I think it was 7 block, 8 block. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. This was back in like 1996 when this took place. Been a while. I'm a bit older now, so my memory's not all it once was. But I know for sure I was on C Yard and I was on C Upper. And I want to say it was probably like 8 block. So I had a young cellie. He had just came from YA. At this time, I had already been down. 96, I had already been down like 5 years. I had already done a shoe term, which is actually why I was there in Salinas Valley. When I got out from my first shoe term in Corcoran, got sent to High Desert. From High Desert, I went to Salinas Valley. So I'm there. I'm a lifer. I'm a homie, doing what we do, you know, living life with a life sentence, thinking I'm never coming home. And I had a young cellie that just came from YA. He was out of San Diego. I'm not going to put his name or his neighborhood out there. That's not important to the story. But he was a youngster. He was also a lifer. He had came from YA when they kicked all the lifers out of YA, sent them all up to the adult prison system. So he came up there. He was my cellie. We hadn't been cellies for all that long. And he was one of those youngsters that was eager to raise his hand for stuff. He was one of those youngsters that wanted to earn his stripes, earn his respect. His goal was to go to the back, go to the shoe, show his face, let his name ring. You know what I mean? He was looking for a mission to go on from the jump, from getting there. And I knew this and I was cool with it, you know. That's the life we were living. It is what it is. So sure enough, a mission came up where somebody from his car from San Diego had to be dealt with. And it was not a soft, it wasn't going to be no soft stuff. It was some real live, like this dude got to go kind of thing. And he was from, you know, the dude they were going to get was from San Diego. So, of course, the cats from San Diego were given the first opportunity to handle it. And so my cellie raised his hand to be, you know, the hitter and go on this mission. And one of his partners, also from San Diego, raised his hand to go with him to be his backup man. So I mean, that's normal every day. That's nothing special. But what's crazy about the dude that raised his hand to be the backup man is he was going home in 3 days. He had already been down for a few years. He didn't have a lot of time to do. You know, his sentence wasn't long from the get go. It was only a few years, and he was on his way out. He was 3 days to the house, and here he is raising his hand to go on a mission as the backup man. If you don't know nothing about it, I'm not going to give you too much detail, but the backup man has a very important job. So it's kind of crazy that this dude raised his hand, especially being that it wasn't just like a put hands on him and let him go kind of thing. This was like really hurt this dude kind of thing. The possibility of catching time was very real. So for this dude to raise his hand like that to be the backup man was crazy. But anyway, so the night before, Marcelli and I pack up his stuff because we know he's going to the hole. That's the whole mission. Again, like I said, this wasn't no little soft mission. He was going on a real one. So he packed his stuff up, chopped it up a little bit, went to bed, got up the next morning, waiting for Yard, went to Chow in the morning, had breakfast, waiting for Yard to get released so he could go handle his business. So they open the yard, we go out. We're all chilling on the basketball court. Marcelli, me, his backup man is right there, and a few people, the homies that play ball and all that, we're all right there. People are playing ball. Other people are chopping it up, kicking it. It's a normal day on a level 4, 180 yard. So, of course, homeboy is there, the dude they're going to get. And Marcelli, like, taps me. He's like, hey, I'll be right back. So I know he's going to go get his tool, right? He's going to go get his piece. He goes where he goes, and they slide him the thing, right? He comes back, and I can see that he's holding his hand kind of funny, so I know he got it in his hand. And he just nonchalantly walks back up to where we are talking. And the dude that they're going to get, is right there. We're talking to him. And it's about like 4 or 5 of us and him. And we're all just right there talking. And boom, Marcelli makes his move, right? He starts stabbing the dude, stabs him a couple times in the neck, stabs him like in the chest one time. The dude jumps back and he starts screaming about whatever, you know what I mean? I cleaned that up or whatever it was, right? So now again, Marcelli was young. It was his first mission. I don't know what kind of experience his backup man had, but when the dude they hit backed up, they took off walking, right? So they take off on the track and go in one direction. Homeboy that got hit, he's leaking. He takes off the other direction. Mind you, the police haven't seen nothing. They're not hollering, get down. They haven't hit the alarm, nothing like that. So Marcelli and his backup man are walking on the track. And here I go like a young dummy. Now at the time, I'm like 26 years old, right? I'm still new in the game. I only been in prison a few years, all the way with the shenanigans, because that's just the life we were living, right? So like a dummy, there I go. I take off chasing behind him. So I catch up with him, and we're walking the track. And Marcelli hands me the knife, right? And he's like, "Here, go flush this for me." I'm like, "All right, cool." So I grab it when I speed up, and I'm gone. It's in my pocket. I'm pushing around the track, heading towards the toilet so I can go flush this thing, right? So I'm walking and I get like halfway around the track. Now I'm a good distance from where Marcelli and his backup men are. They're still walking on the track. They're following behind. But now I see that homeboy's coming in the same direction where I'm walking. He's coming, and he's leaking. He's all bloody. Neck is leaking. Still, the COs haven't seen anything. No alarm been hit. Everybody's just acting normal. People are looking, just minding their business and going about their day. So he's coming in the direction that if we keep going, we're going to run into each other. So I see that, and I notice that, and I turn around and I walk back over there to Marcelli and his homie, and I give him the knife back. And he's like, "What's up? I thought you were going to flush it." I said, "You're going to need this because homeboy's coming." And they're like, "What?" I said, "Yeah, he's coming this way." So they start mobbing. They're mobbing towards him. He's mobbing towards them. Like he wants the smoke, right? He's like, he's going to try to fight back. It seems like. So boom, they rush him, right? Marcelli starts stabbing him. The dude's trying to fight back. His backup man goes and throws like 2 punches and then throws himself on the ground. He prones out, right? Now they got the cops' attention. So now, boom, the alarm gets hit. Alarm going off. They're screaming, "Get down, get down." Cops are running from everywhere. And there's Marcelli fighting with this dude. Now, if you've played any part of these reindeer games before, you know that's not acceptable. The dude was not welcome. The dude had to go. He can't get no fair one-on-one with the homies, right? So the backup man is proned out. Marcelli and the dude are right there going on the ground going at it. There I go. I can't leave Marcelli hanging like that. So I run over there and I start socking the dude and kicking the dude, and Marcelli's stabbing him. Alarms going off. Cops are screaming. Boom, I get tackled. I get taken down with this big old CO. Tackles me, takes me down, puts my hands behind my back, cuffs me up. They're yelling at Marcelli, stop, stop. He's still doing this thing. This man's going crazy. He's really trying to put in work. He's doing this thing. They start spraying him. The cops pull out their sticks and start hitting him with their little batons. Finally, he throws the piece and he prones out. So they get Marcelli, they handcuff him. Dude is in bad shape, right? The victim is in bad shape. So here comes the MTAs are running. They got the little stretcher. The MTAs, for if you don't know what MTA is, it's the medical personnel. They're not prison guards, but they work for CDC as medical, like nurses or whatever it is they are, nurse assistants or whatever. So they come running out and they're looking at, and this is a few feet away from me where the victim is lying. And he's stabbed up, he's leaking, and I can hear what the MTAs are saying. They're pointing out certain wounds to each other, and like, oh, this one's bad, this one's bad, this one could be a punctured lung. Dude was in bad shape, so they call for a medical evac. They call for a medical helicopter to fly him out because that's how bad it is. Basically, they're worried about this man dying. So now I'm like, oh, dang. You know what I mean? And turns out that he came close to dying. By the grace of God, he lived. When they gaffle us up, after they get the whole crime scene secured and cleaned up and all that, of course, they escort Marcelli and I to the program office. They got us in there with the lieutenant. He's telling us that we're going to be charged with attempted murder. And, the town really wasn't tripping because I had life already. Never had a thought of coming home, so I really didn't care. I wasn't like worried, like, oh no, I'm going to lose my date. I didn't have a date. In my mind, I was never going home. So it was like, whatever. But now let's get to the part where God had his hand on me and what I now understand about that incident in that time frame was that we very well could have got charged with attempted murder. By the grace of God, the guy didn't die. First of all, the guy could have died. We could have had a murder charge and we could have been given an additional life sentence. I could have been given an additional life sentence to the one I already had. And that didn't happen. Praise God for that. Also, I could have got shot during that whole thing. The guards, guards don't hesitate to shoot people, especially when there's a weapon being used. If we were probably in an area closer to the gun tower, they probably would have shot us or shot at us. So by the grace of God, God had his hand on me. I didn't get shot. I didn't get a murder charge or any charge at all. Actually, they didn't charge us with anything. We did get a shoe term, which, that is what it is. It wasn't nothing. I went back to the shoe for the second time. My young knucklehead Sally caught his first shoe like he was hoping to do. Go build his little name, build his little rep. But by the grace of God, the man didn't die. The man didn't end up with any life-altering disabilities or nothing like that, as far as I know, because of what happened to him, because of the attack that we, perpetrated against him. God definitely had his hand on me that day because I could have caught another life sentence. And if that would have happened, chances are I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I wouldn't be home. Wouldn't have been home for these 9 years, enjoying my family, enjoying life, giving back to my community, doing the things I do. Just the grace of God, just God's plan for my life. As much as I was trying to mess it up, God had a plan for me and didn't let the course get veered from too much. But now the man I am today, and I look back at that and I feel bad about it, and I'm glad that homeboy survived it. But yeah, that's just my Salinas Valley story. Salinas Valley was rough at that time. Salinas Valley is known as a very violent prison. It's always kicking off in Salinas Valley. But God had his hand on me once again, one of many, many times that I can think of that God had his hand on me. I came out on the other end of it all right. I hope you liked this video. Go back and check out episodes 1 and 2, where I share some other stories. I will be sharing more stories in the future about God having his hand on me when I didn't even realize it. God is so good. God, when he has a plan for your life, when he has a call in your life, he's going to protect you and have a hand on you when you don't even know it. Thank you again for checking out the channel. Thank you for checking out the video. I'm a changed man for life. Jesus loves you and so do I. God bless you. I'm out.